Everyone, we're joined by assistant coach Mauro Biello for this post-match press conference. We'll start obviously with questions in the room. Joshua.
Thanks, John. Mauro, just for you and the entire coaching staff, what impressed you the most about your team's performance tonight?
Yeah, really proud about the team's performance. It was a total team. I can't look at one guy and find someone who had an off game. I mean, everybody came out with the right mentality. We played within our identity, and in the end, we were able to not give them much and score goals, and that's part of who we want to be. And I think for this first game of the tournament, super happy to get it started in that way.
John.
Mauro, what do you think it says about this Canadian team when young players like Nathan, Tanny, Nico, that they sort of contributed in such a major way over, a pretty good Hondurans team?
Yeah, I think that was the idea, right? For us, moving towards the World Cup, it was about how could we expand the depth on this team, and tonight was a perfect example of some of the good young players in this country, and we wanted to continue to give them opportunity, continue to help them develop and become the players that we think that they could be. And tonight we saw a really good performance by a number of young players that have a handful of caps, and I think it's exciting. It's exciting to see that, to put a team with players with those little amount of caps, and then put a performance like that. So super happy and proud of them.
Gemma.
Jesse was telling us on Friday that he believed this was the most important game of the tournament. What did you see from this group that gives you confidence heading into the next games?
Yeah, I think when you go into tournament, obviously the first game always sets the tone for the tournament, and we wanted to get off to a good start. I think we've been working together now for 2 weeks. We've had a good solid 2 weeks. We had two really good games against Ukraine and Ivory Coast, and I think that set us up well to come into this tournament. And for us now, we know that there'll be tough games ahead, and we'll have to deal with that. But it was a really promising performance by the group today.
Mauro, what did you see from Promise David's showing this evening? He could have had a brace, maybe even a hat trick when he came on.
Yeah, I mean, Promise, it's 2 for 2, and he's continuing on his form that he had at his club team, and we're continuing to work with Promise to get him up to speed and how we want to play, and for us, to have that depth on the bench and come in and score, it's only going to help this team and push others now to perform. And I think for Promise, it's only his second camp in with us, but already we've seen a lot of potential there for him as we move forward.
Hey, Jer.
Mauro, hope all is well.
As well, thank you.
We saw a lot from Richie and Nico, especially in the first half. First 3 goals all started with them. Just talk about how aggressive they were and the overloads you may be able to create to help break down that low block.
Yeah, I think early on it took us a little bit of time to really size them up and see the type of game. But once we figured that out, I think our aggressivity took over. We were winning a lot of balls. We had a lot of transition moments in that first half. So I think when you look at Nico and the performance he had, and Richie, it just adds to the attack when you got fullbacks jumping into the final third and creating those overloads, and I think they had a hard time dealing with that. So it's part of what we wanted to create with the team when we have the ball. So they executed tonight.
Joshua.
Nathan and Matthew did quite a good job in the midfield. What did you make of the way they played today?
Yeah, I mean they were amazing. I think they were so aggressive. They didn't give the other team any type of opportunity to go forward. They smothered them. So they brought that aggressivity, Nathan and Matthew. I was just talking on the bench just towards the end of the game saying how well Nathan did, and then he scores a cracker of a goal. So no, I'm happy for them. They worked hard. They work hard every day at training, and now they're able to show what they're capable of doing in games like that. Ben?
You've seen Tanny Oluwase for a while now in MLS and with this Canadian men's national team. What do you see from him tonight and the evolution in his game?
Yeah, I think Tanny, he brings an energy to the line, to the forwards, and he's always stretching that back line. He's opening up space for others. He's without the ball. He's super aggressive. He's not giving center backs any time on the ball. And then he gets rewarded for all that work, right? So I think off the ball, Tanny brings a lot to the team with his energy, his physicality, and then, his ability now to find gaps and get in behind and stretch back lines is he's done it super well. And then he's getting goals. So, very happy with the way Tanny's been playing. Michael.
Mauro, you've been around this group for a number of years now. The hunger seems more than we've ever seen it from this. Obviously, with the World Cup being on the horizon, that plays a part. What are you seeing in training from these guys? And Jaden Nelson described it as kind of like the Hunger Games earlier this week.
Yeah, I think that's the mentality. When Jesse came in and have that aggressive mentality, and I think the players, they love it, they enjoyed it, and as a staff, we continue to push these guys every day to get to that next level, and we set certain standards and demands, and then players then start to hold each other accountable and start pushing themselves at training and in game. So that's what we want to achieve. And I think we're on our way now. It's a good team. We've added a lot of depth in this team, and now you see the potential starting to come out with these boys.
Any last questions? Har, go ahead. Last one.
Mauro, you've been in the stadium at the club level and the national team level, but never with a grass surface. How did the grass play out there? What was your thoughts on the lush grass out there?
Yeah, I thought the grass was amazing. I thought played really well. I thought they did a really good job. Obviously, a week, 6 days, 7 days that they've put it in. So, yeah, it looks good for next year when the World Cup comes around. So this will be a great stadium with a great playing surface. The players were super happy. The ball moved well. There was no issues. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Mauro. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.